All right. On live in 10.
Alright guys, we are live. Thanks for joining this live stream of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures co-op level. My name's Matt, great to have you with us. And with us today we also have Dan and Pete, who have very graciously volunteered to come and help talk us through the scenario. And we also have Brent as well, who's joining me to help play as a hero taking on these evil forces. So thanks guys, welcome to this game.
Hey, what's going on, Shellheads? This is Dan. I got Pete here as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get you guys started with just a brief explanation of what we'll be doing here tonight and what we're demoing, as well as a quick little rundown of the basic needs to know of the new co-op system for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. This map that we'll be, this mission that we'll be playing through tonight is a mission right out of the Changes Constant box. It is one of our arcade missions, which is a standalone mission focused on Raphael's Micro series from the comics. In this mission, we'll have two heroes, Raphael and Casey Jones, that'll be taking on some thugs, both the thugs brawlers and gunners, as well as Alpex. Their objective for the mission is to KO Alpex before the end of round 5. There's a time limit. In this scenario, Raph and Casey discover a mysterious mutant fox named Alpex, and they must interrogate her before she gets away. If you're familiar with the comic, it's following that story. You get the basic premise of what's going on. For this battle, you will only be playing as two heroes in cooperative mode. Raphael and Casey Jones are recommended. We've got the map all set up here. Let me just jump back on the video, see what you guys are seeing. We have gone ahead and picked out the heroes cards to get everybody set up as if we're ready to jump right into the action. So Casey Jones is locked and loaded with 2 abilities, as well as Raphael. And then we've got our villain cards here on the side, and we'll jump in and kind of give you a brief explanation of what you're seeing on the card. Matt, if you can hover me over, let's say Alpex, would be a great place to start. With Alpex's card, the difference what you'll see between a 4 versus 1 competitive card and a co-op card for the villains, for their AI system, is attacks and defend have been switched with hits and blocks. These are done automatically when either attacking or defending against an attack from the heroes. Rather than rolling dice, if Alpex is, say, attacked by Casey Jones, she will automatically block 3 hits no matter what. So as the heroes make their attacks, they need to make sure they're pulling up enough dice to be able to get through those blocks. And then for hits, whenever they're making an attack against a hero, they're going to treat those attacks as if they've automatically rolled their battle dice and rolled 2 hits with every single one of their attacks. The basic rundown of a villain turn, once the initiative card is flipped, which we've got an initiative deck right over here. You will draw a card, and I'm getting used to this system a little bit here, so be patient with me a little bit, guys. If we were to draw this initiative card, Alpex is the first to take her initiative, and Alpex would have the ability to take her turns going through
Perfect chance.
3 actions at the start of her turn. So her base actions that she can choose are she always moves first if she is not in attack range, and then she has 2 other actions in which she can attack. All villain leaders have 3 actions. All minions have 2.
Awesome.
At the start, we'll go back into this and explain basic rundown as we get into the mission. I don't want to jump ahead too far. The other important thing to note with the AI cards is the targeting reticle, which will give you your secondary targeting priority. Every villain's first targeting priority will always be the closest hero. If there are 2 heroes within the same distance, they will follow their second targeting priority, which for Alpex in this instance is the lowest health. So if Casey and Raph are both within the same distance, she will attack whoever has the lowest health and move and attack based off that targeting. If there are 2 heroes that are equal for health in distance, in the rare instance that happens, the heroes will gain the choice. And think about the movies or any situation where the turtles are in a fight. They're always taunting their opponents. The heroes will take that time to decide, you know what, you get the ugly one. And Raph takes the attack against Alpex. So we'll get the game started here. Brent and Matt will take on the roles of Raph and Casey. Have you guys decided who you're going to be playing as?
I'll do Raph today, and
yeah, I'll be taking Casey.
Alrighty. So we'll get going here. Let me just reshuffle the initiative deck to start the base of the round. If you guys can roll your character's dice, I'll do a quick kind of explanation here. We've added just 2 extra dice to each side to represent the dice that will be shared, just to make a clearer picture here. Within the games, you'll actually have tokens that you can choose. So if you're sharing your far left and far right dice, you'll be actually pick the tokens that represent those to put next to yours, so you know what you have. That way, if people are shuffling their dice around in the middle of play to kind of figure out what they're doing, you're not getting confused on what dice that you're supposed to be sharing by the time your turn comes around. Nothing gets forgotten.
Cool.
So if you guys can roll your dice at the start, I'll get the initiative going here.
And just I'm answering questions on the Facebook thread as well. If you've got any questions, jump in there and ask them, and I can either give you a live answer or I'll type away as well.
All right.
Okay, so pretty good roll. I've got 2 chi, which they're the same as the previous Shadows of the Past game. I understand, Dan. They give you a focus if you can take it, and then roll a battle dice to see if you get any health if you're wounded, and then you get to change it to any side.
Yeah.
Correct. So anytime a chi is rolled, you will automatically gain 1 focus, and then you can roll a battle dice to determine if you gain any health, gaining 1 life based off any hits rolled on that battle die, and that's for each chi rolled. And then you can actually go and choose which icon you would like to take for the round, like a wild card.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So as far as sharing dice goes, you're probably going to want my move.
Yeah. Just trying to think what we're going to want to do. Now,
just a hint: the gunners. We haven't talked about gunners yet, but they're especially brutal. So
we don't want to stay put.
Well, you're in a situation where they're at the edge of the roof, so you can see them. So if their initiative goes first, you'll know about it. You'll be wanting to take them out as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Right,
we obviously
right.
don't have much control over what comes out
So-
the initiative deck.
Just a hint though.
Well, what I
Yeah.
was just thinking is we got these fire escapes around the side because we want to get up and take out Alpex within the 5 turns. But there's also the terrain move, I believe, climb still. Is that still relevant here? That you can spend 2 skateboards to move from low terrain to elevated terrain?
Correct. So in the situation where you guys are at now, if you know you need to get to Alpex as quickly as you can, you have 5 rounds to take her out, and you've got a good amount of thugs blocking your path. If you're able to climb and make your move around some of these thugs to get to her faster, that is always a great option. And to do that, you just need to spend 2 melee icons to make a single climb movement.
So you mean
so
2 skateboard
for
icons, was it?
correct.
Okay. Well, we only have access to 1 with our current rolls,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
could
not going to be an
change
option this
one
turn.
of these to a skateboard, but then I'm not next to the wall we want to climb at, so then I'd need a 3rd skateboard to move that 1 space.
Yep.
So,
The beauty is you are next to a roof, another roof that you can climb up to if you wanted to take out some of those gunners and as well.
okay.
And if you are from the one thing that gets overlooked a lot is the ability to leap. If you are on say one roof, but you wanted to get to the other roof, if you have the movement available to make a leap, you can always do that. And the new adventure system, we have added a new terrain ability, so every character has the ability to leap, even without playing a special move card. There are special move cards that allow you to leap and make attacks, depending on the character you are, if you choose those attacks.
Yeah, Raph
but
has
in this situation,
jump kick as an option, but that only allows you to move 2 spaces, which is not quite
it's only
enough
2
to jump
spaces.
the alleyway.
Correct. But because the turtles are ninjas and they are trained, and most of their allies are fairly well trained and athletic enough to make a basic jump, we've added a terrain ability just called Leap, and it allows you to spend 3 skateboard icons to make a movement of 3, ignoring slow and rough terrain, as well as breakaway. And then that way you could actually leap from one roof to the other roof if you did want to do that.
Right, so it's going to cost
but it
me
would
3
but
skateboards.
it costs you a lot.
Right. Well, what do you reckon? Is it better to spend the 3 skateboards this turn and get straight up where we want to go, or have to spend 2 skateboards for you this turn and 3 for me next turn to jump across? What do you reckon, Brent?
That sounds like a good idea, yeah.
Okay, so not the most necessarily like exciting use of Raph's dice, but this is, I think, what we're going to need.
Your other option is you could just change them all to double stars and try and take out some of the gunners and then jump up on your next turn.
Yeah.
I like the idea of hitting them with my hockey stick.
You want to get up there and hit them with your hockey stick, right?
Preferably.
All right. So I will share 1 skateboard with you on the end, and
Okay.
you don't need a second. Yes, you need the second skateboard as well, don't you? Because you need 2 to climb.
There we go.
Well, he's got one of his own as well. If you just wanted to
You've got 1, so you
take
don't...
that.
Yeah, so I can give you the ninja star. So that means I'm getting from you a skateboard and a katana.
There we go.
Perfect. So as these guys are figuring out their dice, we'll kind of just give you a basic rundown. I'm sure there are viewers watching that have never actually played the game. This dice sharing mechanic, designed by Kevin Wilson in the original Shadows of the Past, allows you to work as a team. You roll your 3 action dice that are based off your own character and are unique to that character only. And once you've rolled those dice, you share your leftmost dice with the hero to your left and the rightmost dice to the hero to your right. In a situation like this, where there's only 2 heroes, they will be sharing both their far left and their far right with each other to end out with a total of 5 dice each.
Okay. So at this point, I guess it's draw initiative and see what goes first.
Correct. So at the start of the round, heroes are going to roll their dice to see what they can do. They'll calculate any focus gained or life gained in that moment, and figure out the basic strategy of kind of what they want to do. The beauty of AI is, unlike 4 versus 1, where you know the turn order, where it is a hero gets to go, then a villain gets to go, then a hero gets to go, then a villain gets to go. In cooperative mode, the turn order is randomized. So every time you play, it's going to be a little bit different. Just like in a real fight, you don't always get to choose when you get punched in the face or when you get to punch somebody else in the face. It's fluid. So in this situation, I'll be drawing the first.
The other thing is
first card here.
That all of the figures of the same type activate. So if we flip a Thug Gunners card, all the Thug Gunners are going to activate, not just 1 or 2. All of them that have line of sight.
So the first one to move will be Alpex. As soon as you flip an initiative, the first thing you need to check is this figure within line of sight of one of the heroes? Because we have blocking terrain here with the TCRI billboard, as well as an update to the line of sight rules from Shadows of the Past, if a figure is not within the edge of elevated terrain, they cannot see below. If you're in the middle of a roof, you can't see the street level. You would have to move to the edge before you can target somebody below. So in this situation, Alpex is not within line of sight, so we will skip her activation because she does not know that the heroes are where they are.
That never seemed to make sense in the original, that you could be in the middle of this massive rooftop and still see someone who was down on the ground.
Correct, and that was something that we wanted to update from the original game to give a little more realistic play, and allows us to have a lot more options when dealing with stealth missions and proper line of sight throughout the system. The next person to go would be Raphael. So Raph will get the choice to go through his whole turn here, and I'll let you take over and figure out what you want to do.
Go get him, Raph.
Alright, well I think I want to get up on that roof. So I've got 3 skateboards available to me. So one of them is going to be moving against the wall, and because that guy's elevated over there on the other roof, then I don't need any breakaways from them, right? Because they're not adjacent.
Correct.
And then the other 2 skateboard icons will let me climb. Can I climb diagonally?
Yes, you can climb diagonally, just like you can make any movement can be done at a diagonal. You can climb diagonally as well.
Okay, so I'm up on the roof now, and I've got a ninja star and a katana left. Can I see Alpex now, or is she still blocked line of sight for me?
She is still blocked line of sight. Line of sight is always drawn from center of square to center of square. And if there is any bit of that blocking terrain that is crossed, then you would not be able to target her. So you would need to move forward if you were able to do a hurl psi or a special range attack.
Okay.
Right. So there's no partial cover. It's all just you either see them or you can't.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, looking at my shuriken dice here, I can attack someone who's not standing next to me, but if it's more than 2 spaces away, it's going to weaken, right? That's still the same?
Correct.
Correct.
But if you can attack either the Thug Gunner that's next to Casey with no you wouldn't suffer anything, and you could attack the thug brawler below you, and you wouldn't suffer any loss either.
Right.
Because that's the benefit of elevated terrain against low terrain.
Okay.
So figures themselves don't block ranged attacks.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Well, Casey, what do you want? Do you want me to take out the one to leave you space to sort of get up there, or because I noticed you've got 2 katanas there, are you hoping to try and climb up and take out one of these guys, or have you got enough movement?
I'll work with whatever you go with, because I mean things might change based on what initiative cards come up with. So you just do what you think's best, and I'll try follow suit.
Okay, I'll try and take out as many of these gunners up here as I can then to clear it up. So we'll go with my shuriken dice first on the guy who is on the roof next to Casey. So I've got one of those and a base attack of 2. So that's going to be a 3 dice attack.
Yep.
Correct. So you always take your base attack and then add whatever icons that you're spending.
Yeah. And the gunners, they have a defense, a block of 2 and a life of
Correct.
1. So that means that I need to get 3 hits to take them out.
Correct.
Okay. There we go.
Nice.
And that's
3
exactly
hits.
what you got. So I'll control the figure removal. So that figure is removed and placed back in the figure pool. Our figure pool here at the moment is we've got 2 thug gunners in the figure pool and 1 thug brawler.
Great. And then I still have 1 katana left, so I can do the same thing again, the same dice roll on the gunner who is next to me, but hit him with a melee strike now. And another 3.
Alright, so that one is down as well.
Okay. Well, at least if the gunners activate, we're not getting shot by 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems quite powerful because it says on their card here that you make 1 attack as a group and you add all the hit attributes together.
So they can
Yes.
easily get through blocks.
Alright, so I believe that's the end of my go then.
Alrighty.
So if that's all that you can do there, we'll go to the next initiative card here. And we have Casey Jones.
Okay, so you've taken out the 2 gunners there, so should I go for some brawlers or just jump up and be with you, or how do you reckon?
Oh, I
Maybe
think it's up to you. You've only got the 2 skateboards though, which is what you need to climb. So
Yeah, so maybe move down to the brawlers, try take 1 or 2 of them out, and then
you could
take the
always,
longer way up next turn.
Yeah, you could always come down, try take these 2 out, and try and come around the fire escape.
Alright, I'll
'Cause
do that
You've
then.
got 4
So,
move, haven't you?
I do.
So you know, if you manage to take them out, and then be 1, 2, 3, you'd be placed next turn to get up the fire escape.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll spend 1 move die and move up there. Now, with the 2 katana die I have here, can I make 2 separate attacks, or is it one? Can I only make 1 attack and I have to use both, but it adds to the modifier of how many I roll, or how can I choose to go about that?
So with having multiple melees that you can do that as 2 separate attacks, which would be 2 attacks of 3 each.
Okay.
Or you could do 1 attack of 4.
So
When you're rolling those dice, you want to decide what's the most combat advantageous in that situation. If you're rolling 3 dice, you know that the likelihood of you rolling at least 3 hits is relatively high.
50%, I think, at least, or 60.
Yeah, close to 60, I believe. If you were to add 1 more die to that, it's gonna make that even better for a chance that you'll at least be able to take one of these guys down.
Right.
But at the same time, you run the risk of only be able to taking down 1 versus 2.
Or I could use my home run. So spend the 2 katanas and 1 focus to make an attack plus 2 strike and potentially remove them from the pool.
Exactly. And that's a special ability that Casey has that allows him to actually be able to, rather than just KO a figure and add them back to the figure pool, is to remove them from the figure pool altogether, which is a great thing to do in a mission where you want to get to your end goal without limiting your movement based off other figures on the board.
All right, I think I might use home run then. Showcase the ability.
Well, I was just thinking before you do that, you should have used your ninja star before you moved.
But I could always use it after.
Yeah, but now you're standing next to them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
So that's something you want to think of at the, you know, whether or not someone's going to be in line of, in range at that time.
Right. That's a good point. Oh, well, I'll remember that for next time. Suboptimal play, everybody. Okay, so I guess I'll flip that one over since that's the one I'm not using. And I'll make the attack +2 against the figure that's directly in front of me, not the diagonal one. So that would be an attack +2, so is that 3
4
dice?
dice rolled. That'd be 4 dice rolled, yep.
Okay.
Because Casey has a base attack of 2.
I'll just get him over here. Alrighty. Okay.
That is 4. He's definitely down. And which one were you targeting? The left or the right?
The left.
All right.
So
and he's been removed from the figure pool. So I'm gonna put him off to the side here. Correct.
Okay. And that means I also spent a focus token, so I'll just pop that over there. And okay, so that's my 2 attacks used. I have another move, so now I can't just move past him without having any difficulty added to my movement, can I? So
correct. So for every space, if you're adjacent to an enemy figure,
yep.
Every space you move while adjacent to an enemy figure is going to cost +1 movement for each enemy figure adjacent to you. So since you only have 1 adjacent to you, if you were to move 1 space forward, that would cost you 2, and then you would have to spend another 2 to move there. And because Casey has a base movement of 4, you could definitely do that.
Right, so I'll do that, and then I guess that's my turn.
All right, and now, so another thing that just came up is you are now covering a spawn zone. So if in an instance where spawning were to happen, that is, you are actually blocking a space where figures can spawn. So in a mission like this, that is a definite advantage for the hero, where they can limit where those figures are able to spawn, but at the cost of if you're standing there, you're not moving to your objective.
Right.
So you might be able to help Raph out to limit the amount of people that can get to him quickly because the fire escape's on that side, but you're not up there helping him take Alpex.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of considering. Okay, cool. So that's my turn done.
All right. So the next up will be the Thug Brawlers. So the Thug Brawlers will be the first instance where we can show you how the AI movement operates. So we'll go through that, and I'll give you a quick kind of rundown of everybody. Quick note on movement: the villain figures are also able to use terrain moves throughout the game. And a AI situation, there are some special terrain move costs associated, where a normal villain would share the a competitive mode villain for the 4 versus 1 play would share the same cost that heroes do, and would have to spend those based off the cards that they play. And AI, it's based off of actions. So if each minion has 2 actions that they can spend during their turn, if they were wanting to do in this situation, a climb movement, that would cost them 2 actions. So to start, the brawlers are going to go. The first thing they're going to do is, if they are not within range of attack, they are going to move. The Thug Brawler down at the bottom is already within range of Casey, so he is not going to move. We'll skip him and come back to his actions here in just a second. The Thug Brawlers at the top, the closest figure, which would be who they target, is, in this situation, Raphael. In this situation, this figure, because they can climb, they're going to spend their 2 actions to climb and get adjacent to Raphael. Because they're out of actions now, they will not be able to make an attack. This figure down below is going to be moving based off the most combat advantageous positioning. Raph is technically the closest in proximity, but in terms of movement, he is much further away than Casey Jones is, because he would have to move into space and then make a climb, which he would not be able to do. So this one is going to make his movement and go.
I think he would go, 3 spaces, but he would go diagonally. So on his next turn, he could either climb or he could go towards Casey.
Exactly. So he'd end up right here in the middle. He is not able, with his second action, to be able to hit either Raph or Casey. Only one of their actions can be spent on movement. The rest is for attacks. So he's done with his movement, and he'll not be able to attack. The Thug Brawler at the bottom, he still has 2 actions to spend. Because he's adjacent to Casey Jones, he'll be making 2 attacks against Casey, hitting for 1 each. So Casey Jones will need to block 2 separate attacks, so we'll do those one at a time. Okay. And it's as if the Thug Brawler has already rolled the battle dice and landed on a single hit for each of those attacks. So Casey there looks like... Oh, you go ahead.
So my defense too, that means I roll 2 dice for defense, hoping to get 1 or 2 blocks.
Correct.
All right. Alrighty.
All right, so that 1 hit went through. You have the option here. You can either take the 1 life of damage, bringing you down to 14, or you could re-roll spending a focus if you wanted to do that.
I'll take the 1 damage.
All right.
Yeah, I think
and now you'll be
ability where you get skateboards will help you get health
back.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can tank through the damage a bit.
All right, good. We've had some audio trouble where Matt, it looks like you were a little quieter in the audio.
I was just doing some tweaking.
Based on the chat, that's sounding better now.
Awesome.
All right, and then Brent, if you're good to go, did you already roll your second?
Oh no, I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, so roll your second defense there.
Yep.
And that is a giant miss as well, so you'll be taking 1 more damage.
I'll take 1 more damage.
All right. That is it for the Thug Brawler's first initiative. Just to clarify, in this situation, the Thug Brawler's special ability is that they actually bring 2 initiative cards to the battle. So the Thug Brawlers are clearing space and getting to move and gang up on these heroes a lot more often than some of the other minions. In this special mission, Alpex has a boost to her initiative card as well. Within the core boxes, some figures will actually have more than 1 initiative. All of your minions will have at least 2 initiative cards. And the reason for this is, as you're playing through these AI situations, if you want to boost the difficulty, if you've got a really good playthrough and you've played this mission 2 or 3 times, and you're getting to the point where it's feeling pretty easy for you, boost up the difficulty. And there's multiple ways that you can do that. You can add villains to the figure pool. You can add initiative cards to the villain deck, allowing the villains to activate more and get more hits in on the heroes. So in this mission, we've got a base difficulty boost of Alpex actually brings in a second initiative card as well. So we'll have Alpex having 2 initiative cards as well as the Thug Brawlers. So you'll see that as we play through here. So the next one up will be Alpex. In this situation, Alpex is still not within line of sight to one of the heroes. So we'll go ahead and skip her again. And we've got the Thug Gunners going next. The Thug Gunners have a special ability that their ranged attacks. They have a a range of 4 without their attacks weakening for the ranged strikes. In this situation right now, we've got both Casey Jones within 1, 2, 3, 4, and Raph within 4 of both of these gunners. So at the start of their turn, they have to figure out, are the heroes within line of sight? In this situation, both heroes are within line of sight. And then which is the because they're both within line of sight, and because their range is 4, that puts both heroes within the same distance for the strike. They're actually going to be able to make 2 strikes against either one of these heroes, and they'll focus based on whichever hero has the most life. In this situation, we've got 2 heroes that are actually equal life. So this is a rare instance where you'll have multiple heroes within the same distance and the same life, and the heroes will get to choose who they want to, which hero wants to taunt those villains to take that first hit. So you guys can discuss who feels brave enough to call these guys out and try to egg on the attack.
Well, I think it's a hard one because Raph's special ability is when he gets below 5 health, he gets to basically roll his combat dice for free. He doesn't have to pay focus. But you've got the ability that you can gain health back potentially every time
I was
you roll
thinking,
a skateboard.
plus if I tank it, then you're up there with Alpex already, so by the time you get to a point where that's activating, you've got more health to deal with it while I play catch up and get to there. So I think I should probably take them.
You can take this first one then. Because, Dan, you're saying that they're going to do an attack and then they reassess for the next one because the target might actually change?
Correct. So each attack will be done separately, and then that targeting will process for that second attack as well. So this first one, it's decided that Casey's called him out. He, called him scum buckets and whatever, and they've now targeted him. Their special ability allows them to pool their attacks. So where they each have a hit of 1 if they're to attack individually. Rather than just having a hit of 1, they will pool their first attacks together because they're within the same distance and line of sight, and they'll, as a pair, make an attack of 2 hits against Casey. So Casey, blocking this first one, you will need to roll against 2 automatic hits, and you have the same dice, so you'll be rolling 4 dice.
So this is the other reason why I said that taking out those extra gunners at the start was good, because if they get to go first, they would have hit you for 4.
Yeah, and I lied. You don't have 4 dice. You've got a defend of 2.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got 4 dice. You have defend of 2.
Alrighty.
Oh.
And look at that. So you blocked that first attack, and now because your life did not change. For the second
we can make
attack,
the choice again.
You can make the choice again, and you can go ahead, and if you wanted to take that attack, you can roll your defense for the second attack.
Well, since I took no damage, I may as well try it again.
Sounds good. Oh.
And this time you take 2 damage.
You're standing there like, yeah, you got to do better than that, and then you get shot.
Yep. So in this instance, if the thug gunners are done with their turn now, they've run through all their activations. But if let's pretend, just for the sake of explanation, that they had another attack, because at this point now Raph is the one with the most health, they would automatically target Raph. So the thug gunners are done. This is the last card of the initiative. We're gonna flip this over, and we've got the brawlers going for their second initiative here.
All right.
And right now we have 3 brawlers on the board. One of which is adjacent to each hero. One adjacent to Raph, one adjacent to Casey, and then we have one right here in the middle. This one in the middle can spend 1 movement to get to Casey and make a single attack, or spend their climb, spending both their actions to get to Raph but not be able to attack. So in this situation, the most combat advantageous positioning would be to move towards Casey and make a single attack. So running through, Raph has 2 attacks against the single brawler to defend against, of 1 each. So he'll roll his defense dice twice to see if he can block those attacks.
Okay. So 3 dice to defend with, and they're 2 single hit attacks. So the first one, nothing. And the second
That's
one...
going to hit.
Ooh, okay.
Right. So you take 2 unless you want to spend a focus.
No, I think I'll save the focus.
Get Raph a little more enraged as you go on here.
Yep.
Casey, you've got 2 different guys. We'll do these separately just to kind of run through for people catching up at home. At this point, the thugs have moved. The one on the right has 2 actions available to spend because he didn't have to move. He's going to attack twice. The one on the left has already made a movement, so he can only attack once. So we'll start with the one that can only attack once. So just roll your 2 defense to see if you can block that single hit.
Nope.
And that one goes through.
Okay.
And then the other one will attack you twice, so you can roll those 2 more times. That is 1 block. And then one more time.
Okay.
And that one goes through.
So 1 more damage. Alrighty.
So as you can see here, with the auto blocks and auto hits based on the AI villains, you really have to change your strategy up. They're gonna gang up on you pretty quick, and the fact that you don't know when they're coming based off the initiative system forces you to play more on what's going on in the battle currently versus trying to plan ahead 10 steps in advance, because well, Mikey can go and then the villain can go, but only 2 of them can activate, and then Raph can go and then the villain will go again. The co-op system allows you for fluid play, where the heroes have to react to what's going on currently in the battle, and not think too far ahead, because things can change drastically.
I just saw a question in the comment feed from Scott saying, why didn't the gunners move? That was because with a range of 4, they already had range on both heroes, and because they get 2 actions, they could either shoot twice or move and shoot, obviously, so they took the option to shoot twice.
Correct. So the basic rundown, and actually Pete, do you want to just do a basic rundown, just to recap here? We'll have the guys. We're at the end of the round here, so this is round 1 over. Let's re-roll all of our action dice for the start of the next round. I will spawn villains on the board, and I will also shuffle the initiative deck. Pete, do you want to talk just a little bit about just kind of just recapping the turn order and the AI villains turn order?
So just running over what we've done.
Correct.
So we're going to reshuffle the initiative deck, and re-roll all the hero's action dice again, and it's just essentially starting again. So the deck will obviously be totally different. You don't know when you're going to activate. We also need to spawn as well. Dan, you've
Correct.
got those.
I just finished spawning. If you want to explain how spawning operates in this system.
Spawning is always half of the figure pool rounded up. So, and you go by figure types 1 by 1 first. So, we do 1 brawler, then a gunner, a brawler, then a gunner. But in this case, it's only 1 brawler, so rounded up is 1. And with the gunners, there's 3. Rounded up, it would be 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you always spawn based off the closest spawn point in proximity to the heroes. So the first one I chose to spawn was the Thug Brawler, and he spawned adjacent to Casey because that's the closest. And then the other 2 spawned one at a time to the closest space adjacent, and those were the only available spaces. But the closest space adjacent to Raph. if there happen to be 8 spawn points on the board, you would always choose those closest locations to the heroes to keep the action fluid and moving along.
And sorry, this is sort of related. I'm not actually logged into the tabletop simulator, so it's a bit. Mine's a little bit lagged, so I just sent you a message there. And when you'd spawn those guys, I hadn't seen that you'd done that, so I'm a little bit behind with the video.
I knew that, so I was just letting you know.
Okay. Cool. So with
it looks like we're probably, what do you think, a 15-second delay or so between our recording to the live stream?
Probably.
Yeah, about 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if there's anything a little wonky, just be aware of that. I've got both the live as well as what's actually in front of me side by side here, so I can kind of see where we're at if we need to kind of readjust to explain things.
So what I was just thinking is that we haven't rolled any movement, and I obviously need to get to Alpex, and you don't want to end up stuck down there taking all the minions. So that dice, I got my focus back, and I got 1 health from rolling a battle dice. But I'm thinking that needs to be a skateboard, given we've got no other movement.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And now for Casey, Casey's in a rough situation here, where he's got 3 thug brawlers all adjacent to him. No matter what, with you spending all of his movement, he will only be able to move 1 space. So keep that in mind as you move forward. And that's something, if you want more movement, you can always spend a focus here at the start to re-roll any of your dice at this point as well.
Okay.
So if you wanted to sacrifice one of your attacks, you could always do that. Not making that suggestion, just pointing out to the viewers that is something that can be done.
Yeah. I've given you a shell on the side, given that you're going
to help with the defense.
3 brawlers down there. But if you'd rather have the katana, you can have that. It's your call, man.
No, I'm good. I think what I might do is attack them and then move just into the alley, so only one of them can get me at a time after that point.
Yeah, if you can get up the fire escape.
If initiative lines up okay.
Yeah. All right. So are you guys all set for the start of the next round?
Yep.
Yeah, looks good out.
Right. Now, before we get going here, Pete, I just wanted to take an opportunity. Essentially, how we'll run through this, so we can take some time for questions if they come up. We'll run through a round, and then we'll as the heroes reset up for the next round. We'll try to answer some questions that pop up on between the Kickstarter, the Facebook, as well as the YouTube questions. So we're kind of watching everything here, and Pete's been answering questions throughout the chat. So we'll see. I apologize if a question gets skipped. If it does, we'll get back to it after the video as well. And Pete and I will jump in and answer any questions that might have gotten overlooked as we've played.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'll keep on the texting side of things and try and manage all that while you guys do that.
Perfect. Cool. Yep. All right, so we'll start with this next round. If the heroes are all set to go, I'll flip the first initiative.
Yep.
All right. So first one we've got.
One question I have is, with my chip off the old block, is that always active? Because it just says while this card is active, or do I have to select that as my active card once it hits my turn?
You would have to select that during your turn. So the cards can only be played during your turn unless they say so.
Okay, cool.
So if there's a card that says you can play it out of turn order, then that is perfectly okay. But if it otherwise it says while active, you would play it. In this situation, it's a unique card. And most heroes have at least one of these that is a free of cost. So it doesn't cost you anything to play it, and it's great. It's a great thing to play if you don't, if you're not needing to use one of those other cards. And that allows you to regain focus anytime you roll a double hit on one of your attacks, which is great.
Cool.
You have a good opportunity to do that. So, so in this situation, if you wanted to, like, I'm once again not telling you to do this. I'm not trying to power game here. Just want to explain what could happen in a scenario. Say you spent your one focus to re-roll your action dice, but then you've got a good setup now. You could make an attack, roll a double hit, and gain a focus back, and then be able to use that later on. So it gives you a little more freedom of the fear of running out of focus that happens as you play. You have ways of gaining it back.
Cool.
Excellent. So we'll go through here. First flip will be Alpex. So in an unfortunate situation, Alpex is still not within line of sight of anybody, but that's all right. She's got a lot of actions to go. Next up will be the Thug Brawlers. So in this situation, all the brawlers are already adjacent to their heroes. They will just be making a lot of fun attacks against you guys. Each Thug Brawler will be attacking you twice. So Casey, get ready to roll some defense. I'm gonna let you just suffer a little bit at the thought of that, and we'll do Raph first.
All right. So I've got a base of 3 plus my shell, so it's going to give me 4 dice, right?
Yep.
Correct. And you'll be rolling against 2 separate attacks of 1 each.
Okay, first one blocked.
Very blocked.
And second one blocked.
Excellent. Now, Casey, and you can see here the big difference between being surrounded by a single villain and being surrounded by multiple villains. And a situation where it doesn't look like one hit is very much, it might seem like it's weak, it adds up quick. It's all about being surrounded. It's all about being overwhelmed by numbers. Your villain leaders will have much higher hits. They don't only needs to be one of them adjacent to you to do some damage. But for a lot of the minions, they're a little weaker. It's all about defending against waves of attacks. So Casey's up now. So we'll start with the one to the far left, and we'll just go through just to kind of keep track of it. Just do 2 at a time.
So with 2 defend and the shared shell, I'm rolling 3 dice?
Correct.
Alrighty. So there's 1 block.
Correct.
So how many attacks does each thug get?
Each guy will get 2, so you have 6 attacks total. So you're down to 5 now. So 1 blocked, second blocked.
Okay.
We'll jump over to the guy just over to the right here.
Cool.
You'll have 2 more to roll against.
All right.
That is one that goes through.
So 1 hit. Oh.
That's 1 block, so you have 2 more to roll. That's 1 block.
Okay. All right.
And that last one is blocked as well.
Sweet as. So that's
all right.
1 total damage from 6 attacks. So I defended up pretty well.
That's not bad. You did a good job. It's very helpful having that extra shell.
Oh,
if you didn't have that extra shell, you'd be hurting hard.
Thanks, Raph. Okay.
Anytime.
So that's the thugs done then.
Thugs are done. Next up is Casey Jones. Let's lay down some payback here.
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna use the chip off the old block. So while it's active, I regain 1 focus each time I roll at least 1 double hit while making a melee strike, but cannot spend the focus. So you can spend focus during combat to re-roll dice, can't you?
Correct.
So, alright, so I have an attack of 2, so that'll be +1 with a regular. So I'm going to use this one here against the first thug, the one directly above me. Okay.
That is an attack of 4. That takes him out.
And I get a focus back with the double hit. Okay. Against the diagonal one now. Okay, so that's 3. So that would be enough to take him past his 2 defense as well.
That is.
And then against the last fella. Whoop.
Go ahead and re-roll that. Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Let's just say that's how it landed.
Yep.
So that's only
Okay.
one. It would have missed if that was just a single hit as well. He would have blocked it.
So I could spend a focus to re-roll the non-hit ones if I wanted, correct?
Correct.
No,
Okay.
no. You can't. Chip off the old block says you cannot spend
correct.
focus.
Oh,
Correct.
that's
Chip
right.
off the old block because of your ability.
Right. Okay. That's the.
But if you didn't play that ability, yes.
Right. Nope. Sweet as. So I've got that understood then. Okay. So that's So that was my attacks done. All 3. I forgot to roll 1 extra dice for that one actually, but I don't think it would have mattered because I
Well, you
needed
can
3
roll it
hits.
because if it's a double hit, then that might.
Yeah. You go ahead and
yeah.
roll it because you did
Alright.
have the double katana there.
All right. I'll just.
Oh,
Ah.
there we go.
See, in that situation.
Oh, there we go.
So that
Okay.
situation, yeah. So you were able to take out the last thug.
Okay. So at that point, I've powered through those 3.
Yep.
Now I've got 4
And-
movement, so I can go
Yeah, go
1. So that would be 2, 3. If I land there, so that's 3 movement, and then it's just 1 movement. Can I move diagonally, or do I have to go straight?
Correct.
Adjacent,
You
or...
can move. You can move diagonally in either direction.
Right. So I'll go there, so I don't wake up Alpex yet.
I was going to say because she's still got another activation in the deck, and you're looking.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit,
But this way,
winded.
those thugs are taken care of a bit, and I'm up on the roof with you now, finally, and
Excellent.
that'll be my turn.
Awesome.
All right. So next up here is Raph.
All right. Okay, so I have 3 move normally. So to break away from this thug, if I want to go sideways, it's going to cost me 2. And then if I wanted to go 1 more square across to here, so that would cost me 2. But then does that mean it's going to cost me 4? Cost me 3 extra, 3 to go into that one. 1 for the square, 1 for Alpex, and 1 for the gunner. Sorry, 1 for the brawler.
Correct.
Right. So I could get to here quite comfortably though. Would I have line of sight to Alpex if I did that now, corner to corner?
What was that again?
Would I have line of sight to Alpex now, corner to corner, or is that blocked
Correct.
by the black?
Yes, because you're going center to center.
Yeah.
You have a perfect diagonal line of sight.
Okay, so if I did that, I could use my kick shell ability then?
If you got line of sight, yeah. Kick shell is an attack you have to do adjacent to somebody, so yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to take me... That would take 2 pizzas and 2 katanas. But that would push her away potentially as well. With a diagonal like that, how would that work with the push then? Is she just going to move down 1 potentially?
In that situation, because she's at the edge of the map, she would not move.
Not at all.
So based off the rules of the game, you'll always move. You'll always move directly away from the figure. And this is a situation where this is where I would recommend house ruling and to play what is most comfortably to you.
Okay.
The rule is 1 space directly away. In this situation, the edge of the board is considered blocking terrain in which you couldn't move through. But as a player at home, you can make that decision. If you wanted to give it a little bit more of the realistic feel of, oh, I'm pushing her, she should move, you can do that. You can make that call and go ahead and just move her down 1 because that's going to be the closest natural movement.
Yeah.
The beauty of any game, as long as it's not breaking a system and it's not causing some significant advantage, play to what feels right to you.
Okay.
We as the designers of the game, we want people to have the ability to make adjustments to make the game feel more natural. We have base rules to go by, but if there's something that needs to be adjusted to make the game feel a little more comfortable, go ahead and do that. And you'll as you play, you'll see if that's too strong of a thing, if that's a situation where maybe that's a little too broken. Let's say if you were doing, say Alpex was on the other side of that billboard, and by making that attack, you could potentially push her off the roof, and then she would have to she'd be dealt damage if she was a normal figure that could be dealt damage by elevated terrain. Alpex can't because of her special ability, allowing her to ignore
Fall damage.
The fall damage from elevated terrain. But say you did that to that thug brawler there, he could fall off the roof and potentially get hurt.
But the official rulebook answer to that, though, is that no, she wouldn't move because she would move directly away, and that would be there's no way she can move. So there's no valid space for her to move into.
Okay. So looking at Keck Shell, it means that I take 2 damage, so that takes me down to 10, and then I can make an attack plus 4. So my base attack is 2, plus 4 would be 6. And then plus 1 die per extra katana spent, because normally you can't add extra icons to attacks, right? Unless it says so.
Correct. So a special move, like the Hell Sai one right next to that, it says an attack plus 3. This one is an attack plus 4 plus with the modifier.
Yeah. So if I'm spending my 2 health and I use Casey's double katana to fuel the ability, I still have 2 katanas left. So that means I could do an 8 dice attack on her, right?
Yep.
Alright. She does have a special ability, though. She could dodge that completely, though, doesn't she?
Correct. So once you've made your attack, you'll roll your dice here to make your attack, and I will roll a single battle die. And this would be done by any hero on the board. You would roll a single battle die, and if I roll a block, I dodge the attack no matter what.
All right.
So maybe do more than 1 attack, possibly?
That's what I was thinking, but she has got a block value of 3, so
yeah.
you're going to
getting
always
through that armor is going to
3
be hard.
hits on that armor, aren't you? So I think we'll go, guts or glory. We'll see what happens here. We'll take all 8 dice.
We'll flip that coin.
Yeah. We'll take all 8 dice and put them over here. And I've also got 3 focus as well. Do I have to use those focuses for my rerolls before you roll that dice to dodge, I'm guessing?
Yes. You need to complete your roll first before she gets a chance to respond.
Alright. Okay. Let's do this.
And you can only focus reroll once as well.
Oh my goodness.
I'd say reroll.
Painful attack.
Let's spend a focus and re-roll that roll. I might just pull that single head out so that I don't embarrass myself by rolling all defense dice next.
That's a little better.
Alright.
3, 4,
So
5, 6, 7, 8 hits.
8 hits? Does it work is
and
the
you've
question.
got a battle dice over here for Alpex.
Yep, so I'm going to make this roll here for Alpex.
Oh!
She blocks it. So in this situation, Alpex is very quick. She's very agile. She completely sidesteps that attack. All right, and is that it for Raph?
Yeah, that's it for Raph. I put everything into that 1 hit, which is probably exactly what Raph would do.
Yep. All right, so next up here. What happened there? Why did that flip? There we go. All right, we got Thug Brawlers. We have one measly Thug Brawler left on the battlefield. He's gonna make 2 attacks against Raph.
Alright, so I'm defending with 4 at the moment because of my shell. first one blocks, and second one blocks.
Nice.
All right. Next up here.
It's going to be
Last-
Alpex, isn't it?
Oh,
It's got to be Alpex, yeah.
hold on. It's saying I've got two here. I grabbed more than one. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Alpex.
Yep.
So we've got Alpex now, who's going to make her first action that she can actually do something against Raphael here.
3 attacks.
She is already in range, so she's going to have 3 actions that she can spend. For those catching up at home, she's got 3 action. Because she's a leader. Minions have 2, leaders have 3. The first one being a movement if need be. She didn't need to move, so she gets all 3 towards attack. So she'll make 3 attacks against Raphael, each hitting for 2. Before you roll this, I just want to real quickly answer a question that popped up here on the comments regarding Alpex's massive evasion there. Alpex has a special ability with her AI card that allows her to roll a single battle dice to effectively dodge an attack on a successful block strike. So JM situation, she rolled the battle dice and she managed to get a block. So she sidestepped and dodged the whole attack.
So when you're facing somebody like Alpex, you're probably better off to do more medium-sized attacks than one big one to try and make sure that you don't burn all those dice. Alpex doesn't necessarily always hit hard as well. She only does 2 hits. Some of the other leaders can do even up to 4 hits. So she doesn't hit hard, but she's really quick and she can evade. So it just goes showing that every villain, leader, and minion is a little bit different. And for her, the evasion it's a big part of who she is as a character. She is quick and she's agile. Yeah.
All right. So we'll jump into these rolls here. So just let me know when you are ready to roll some defense.
All right. So I've got 4 defense, my base of 3 plus my shell, and I'm blocking 3 times against 2 hits.
Correct.
All right. First one blocked. Second one, ooh. I'll take a couple.
That is your choice. Do you take the damage or do you
I'll
go
take
for
this
it?
time.
All right.
And third time, block.
Nice.
That is a block. All right. So you survived your first attack by Alpex, and even got yourself a little closer to being enraged.
And just interrupting for a sec, I just noticed in the chat we've got Nate here as well. So shout out to Nate.
Hey Nate.
And Nate thinks Alpex and Raph are both OP. That's all right. They're a good pair to both be OP. All right. So now we have the Thugs Gunners who have just flipped an initiative. At this situation now, we run into an interesting spacing. We've got 2 Thug Gunners on the roof here across the building. They have both Casey and Raph within line of sight. And we once again have Raph and Casey both at the same life total. So for those 2 over there, we'll have to figure out how the heroes want to take that attack and who wants to taunt the villains to take the hits. But before we do that, we'll have they'll make an automatic attack of 1 to start, because the other gunners are not within range to attack anybody. So let's go ahead and actually process their first attack before we move forward with the other gunners. And you guys decide who wants to take that first attack.
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Given you're in Alpex's face. Because
Sure.
I've got the extra defense die thanks to you, so.
Excellent. So we've got they're going to pair up again. So it'll be attack of 2. That will be going up against Raph. We're just going to do 1 attack this turn, because this is just their first action.
Okay.
So you would have taken 1 damage there?
Yep. So I take 1 instead of 2 damage, so I block some of it.
All right, and now we're gonna move to the second action of, or before we actually move to the second action of these thugs, we're gonna let these gunners make their movement. In this situation, based off line of sight, we're gonna have to see, and I'm gonna have to pull out a card here. The thug gunner to the left is actually gonna, he will not be able to see either Casey or Raph, because he's gonna run into hitting that elevated terrain by the 1, 2, 3, the 4th square down. He'll hit the elevated terrain, and that'll cause a blocked line of sight pattern.
Right, because you can't see through another through a square of elevated terrain into another one.
Yep. I gotta, sorry, with this system, I just gotta get to a bird's eye view to get a better drawing.
And the other one I think should be fine.
So what
the second one in this situation actually is also blocked.
Yeah,
one on the right hand side. It's gonna hit. I can't.
Because it's gonna hit the square in front.
But it's gonna hit about 3/4 of the way down on that space right above Casey. So that's gonna be blocked line of sight as well.
Nate says bird's eye view is pretty nerfed. So Nate, do you think we let them move? Is that what you're trying to say? Let's see what he says.
Yeah. And this is a situation, you can figure this out at home, but based off the rules of the game, these 2 gunners would not have line of sight to the heroes, while the other 2 do. So unless we will give Nate Murray the benefit of the doubt of being able to make a call here, hold on, what we got here?
We're waiting for him.
I don't know if he's that quick. We're going to go ahead. If he changes his mind, rooftop 2 have line of sight, and they are also OP. Okay, so we're just going to disregard what Nate's saying and move along.
Rooftop
and let the other 2 make their second attack.
All right.
But now our health has changed because
they'll go for Raph, won't they?
Yeah, they target the individual with the highest health, so they're going to shoot at me now for their second attack?
Correct.
Alright, and so I'm defending with my 4 dice, and it's against 2 hits. One attack, 2 hits?
Correct.
And I block 1.
Alright, so that's going to be 1.
Again, to equal our health points perfectly.
Alright. Which is very... It's suitable for Raph and Casey to be toe-in-toe.
We're sharing
taking hits, calling these enemies out. Lots of fun name-calling throughout. Alright, so we are done with the end of this round as well now. That's second round complete. You have 3 more rounds to try to take Alpex out.
Okay. So
we'll go in. Pete, any questions popping up throughout the threads?
No, I'm just replying about the hero sheet size.
All right.
Somebody asked
and then,
about.
If you guys want to go ahead and roll your dice for the next round, I'll get spawning happening here.
Just shuffling the initiative deck.
Facebook, we've got likes, but no questions. Let's go to Kickstarter and double check there.
Okay, bit of variance on my one this time.
Just people saying how awesome the game is and how much everybody should back it. So That's
that's
all.
good.
We're
That's a positive response.
I can tell you, I'm having an
Okay.
awesome time, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. So the chi symbol I can change to any side if I like, can't I?
I
correct.
just think I
The
might
first
spend
thing
a
you'll do
focus.
is gain focus.
Yep.
And then you can
I'm-
also roll 1 action dice to see if you regain any.
Yeah, I just
And
think
by
I might-
action dice, I mean battle dice.
I might
Yeah.
spend a focus and
Eat my own
So-
words here.
maybe keep that
So I will
katana,
roll that to see if I gain any health.
but I might
You
re-roll
do.
these
You gain
to-
1, so you're at 8,
Back at 8. Cool.
which means you're the target now.
Casey wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, what should I change my... I might change my chi symbol to a double sword.
Yeah,
Just because then that way we can have... and I'll share the 2 swords, so
Yeah.
that way we have a couple of big attacks.
yeah.
We can try
and I
getting
can
on
give you
her
the
each.
skateboard to
So I can still move, and another sword. Sweet as.
because 4 spaces would get you comfortably either to the brawler or to Alpex. You're better to.
Oh, I'm gonna
follow
run
them.
for Alpex if I can.
Yep.
All right, so
Well-
we've got Julio saying that this game is awesome, but we need to get Metalhead unlocked. If that happens, this will be the best Turtles game ever. And also Raph is OP because he's so cool. But rude though. You hear that, Pete? Rude.
Rude. It's also a bit crude.
Okay.
The world will
Um,
never know.
So a good thing for Casey to do here would be to get behind that TCRI sign, because then those gunners can't shoot him anymore too.
That's the plan.
Yeah, and then you can leave Raph to get all the shots.
Well, if he moves further back, he might block line of sight from one of them at least.
Unless Raph moves up 1 more space. If Raph moves
Yeah.
up 1 more space, he will double check my.
They'll be out of range.
Okay.
Oh, one.
So
One
do
of
we.
them will, I believe.
So it looks like we're all done with our prep stuff. So be the first initiative card.
If Raph actually moves 1 space, the gunner at the top most on the roof will still have line of sight, just barely.
But the other one won't.
The other one will not. All right, so we're gonna go. Actually, let me double check and make sure I did shuffle this.
I shuffled him a couple times.
All right, good. This is a new system to figure out the game on.
Yeah.
So I've already spawned. In that last spawn, there was only 2 spawn points left because the other gunners could not move yet. So in that situation, I spawned 1 of each, and we've got the brawler and the gunner that spawned. We'll go with our first initiative card here. The hero's good to go before the flip.
Yep.
All right. And
Julio
we've
also
got a-
says.
Ooh.
Julio also says he wants to thank you guys for help with the colorblind on the cards and such.
Oh, no
And-
problem at all.
Especially on those
Oh.
dice as well. The green dice were especially bad, weren't they, Dan?
Yeah. Well, so it all depends on the type of colorblind that someone might be. Green and red is a fairly common mix-up. So in this situation, Raph's dice could be pretty tough to see. I don't know all of the proper terminology of the different types of the spectrum being colorblind. I know it starts with the D for the one that's specifically red and greens. Julio, you might be able to help me there, but we've done our best to try to help separate the dice a little more dramatically between the different heroes. For all of the Turtles dice, they will be their bandana colors with white pips, and on the grooves. It's not perfect. I've talked to some of the backers and members of the community, which will help us in the future seeing what we can do to help dice out further. But one thing that we have done to really push this game to help, at least with the villain decks and other cards. The villain decks will actually have you're now up to 4 colors of the villain deck. Some cards will actually have yellow, which will be added to the red, green, and blue colored villain decks that we saw before. All of those cards will actually be archived and have a catalog system that will be also in the mission book. So if you're trying to figure out how to build that villain deck and you can't well tell the difference between a red deck and a green deck,
yep.
You can look based off the numbers. So the mission book will tell you need cards 32 through 37. You'll be able to look and say, okay, I've got my Alpex cards. I need card 37, 38, and 39, and you can pick those cards, build the deck, and that'll help guide you along the way. So thank you for bringing that up, Julio. It's a good thing to be able to share to more people as well. I really appreciate the talk we got to have on the Facebook page as well, just in terms of more insight of how we can work towards bettering the game now and in the future. So moving into the this first action, we've got Alpex ready to go.
So she's gonna hit me
she is
3
already
times.
adjacent. Yeah, she's already adjacent to Raph, so she's gonna be trying to smack you down a little bit, which only seems appropriate if you know her character from the
Call me?
yeah, if you know the character from the comic.
Best of luck, Matt. Nice.
And the last one.
Okay,
what I might
so-
do is, because when I get 5 or below, that's when I get rerolls for free. So, I'll go to 5, and then I'll save that focus for possibly rolling action dice next turn.
Sounds good.
So that's her 3, because I took 1 off the first one, nothing off the second, and 1 off the third.
Perfect.
All right, so that's it for Alpex there. We'll go to the second one here. Oh, hold on. Grabbing too many cards at once here. And flip. And we've got the gunners activating. In this situation now, we've got 5 gunners on the board, 2 of which will still not be within line of sight. So we already know that from the last time we played. So we'll disregard the 2 at the top altogether.
Yep.
And we have the bottom 3. So the top 2 are going to target the closest hero with the most life. That is Casey Jones in this situation. The one on the bottom is going to do the same. It's going to target Casey Jones. And just to go over the ruling for movement, based off if you're attacking from the ground up, it's as if the character is 2 extra spaces away. So in this situation, the gunner is attacking. You're going to go diagonal, and then it's going to cost you 2 more to go up. So that's essentially a distance of 3.
So still
so
fine
in that
range.
situation, you're still in range. But just wanted to explain that to people new to the game, or just need a recap of the rules. So all 3 of these gunners are now going to pool their attacks. They'll make 2 attacks against Casey for 3 hits each. So now that there's an extra gunner on the field, it's going to get a little more dicey. And Casey's going to have to roll only 2 dice for his defense.
Ooh. It's going to be tight. I think Casey, you're in trouble.
Nope.
Ooh.
So that's 3 damage.
Yep. So this is that situation where you can always spend a focus, or save it for the potential of bad rolls in the future.
I'll take this one.
All right.
Alright.
So only take 1 damage there.
Okay.
That's not too bad. In that situation, you made a gut call. It probably would have been good to take that focus on the last one. You would take a little less damage, but it's still not too bad. It could have been much worse.
Okay. So that's the, was that 2 attacks against me, was it?
Correct.
Okay, so that's mine done. So there's 1
Yep.
against Raph.
So
No,
Scott
so-
in the chat, Dan is asking, can the rulebook explain which card decks to choose for homebrew? Now, when we've put in the section about building missions, we've got about the difficulty and a standard sort of an amount of cards that you should add and villains per character. With the decks, we've go into 4 versus 1 a little bit. Not it's not as what? How would you explain it, Dan? I'm just
So when creating a mission with the villain decks, there's if you look at the villain decks closely, you'll start to see some patterning between the colors of those cards. The most important thing, and we'll have this in the rulebook, the most important thing is enough cards for the villains on the field. So if you've got, so in this situation here, let's say you have Alpex and 2 different types of thugs. You can break that balance up in how many colors get chosen evenly by giving each figure, you need 24 cards. Each color is 4 cards for each villain type. So you could break it up evenly by giving each one of those villain types 2 different sets of cards. Or if you wanted the villain leader to have the advantage and be able to activate a little more, you could boost that deck up by giving her 3, giving the brawlers 2, and then the gunners only 1 set. That's up to the person creating the mission. The best thing to do is take the cards, build a deck, and shuffle it and cycle through a few times to make sure that each character is getting activated enough. If a character is not activated enough, you probably need to readjust to see how many how you can get the villains to be activated more by having their cards pull up in the villain hands. If you keep seeing that the villain's not activating enough at all, the biggest solution to that is generally dropping a figure type from the mission. So in a situation, if let's say the gunners just aren't getting enough, just drop them out altogether. And you can put in a stronger minion type to replace the brawlers. So there's just 2 strong characters to fight. You'll find a way. There's so many variables that can happen with the creation of decks. Which characters to choose and how many cards they get just needs to be played through and play testing to find out. In terms of color choices, and I know I'm getting a little involved in this answer, but in terms of color choices, your red cards are generally going to be more geared towards basic attacks and a good range of activations for minions, whether it's they can activate 1 or activate 2 minions at a time. Your blue cards are going to generally have a little more defense. That it all depends on the character type. Most of them are a little varied, but the blue ones tend to have a little bit more defense and maybe a little bit more special abilities if it is a more advanced minion type like a ninja foot elite. And then the green ones are generally always going to have more activation. So let's take the foot ninjas, for instance. One of their green cards allows them to activate 3 figures rather than 1 or 2. That's a basic, really, really basic kind of rundown of what you can expect. But not every villain will follow that same path. There will be some that, let's take Baxter Stockman, for example. His green set is geared towards controlling other minions on the board and special things rather than his own ability. So it's a little bit more of like a mastermind set. So you can figure out, what do I want Baxter to do? Do I want him to attack himself, or do I want him to control the other minions and give them boosts? So you'll figure that out as you see everything go along. So jumping back in here, we just finished up the gunners. And Scott, I hope that answered your question. We can always go into more detail in comments or on the Facebook page as well. The next initiative we've got will be the Thug Brawlers. We've got one Thug Brawler at the top who is definitely going to be attacking Raph for 2 hits. And then we have another one here at the bottom. This one down here at the bottom has line of sight of Casey.
And blocked.
And you'll want to, we'll move this guy. He has a movement of 3. So he's going to move here for 1. And then it's going to cost him 2 more movement to move into the slow terrain of the fire escape. Oh, that fire escape is considered both elevated terrain and base ground. So he still has the ability to make a single attack against Casey in this situation. So we'll go ahead and Casey Jones can. We'll start with Casey just because it's a single attack. Can make his defense of 2 against a single hit.
All right.
So that is blocked. And then Raph will have 2 attacks to defend against with his 3 defend.
I rolled them before when you were talking about who was going to be attacking.
Oh, okay, excellent.
He managed to block them.
So he blocked both already?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I had my screen zoomed in, so I did not see your dice roll. I'll trust you on that. So they've made that block. That's it for the thugs in that initiative. And we have Alpex going next, attacking Raph.
Okay, now because I'm 5 hit points, I can re-roll my focus dice, my attack dice for free, battle dice for free, is it?
Correct.
Yeah, you don't have to pay.
You do not have to pay for those
right.
re-rolls, but
So
you can still only do
rage.
1 re-roll.
Yep, so I blocked 1, but I can re-roll these 2, see if I can block the other. Yes.
Nice.
1.
Yep.
And I'll re-roll these 2.
So once again, you can re-roll. Yep.
Block that attack.
That's 1 blocked.
And I re-roll everything. Nice, blocked everything. Ooh.
So Alpex got 3 attacks there. Because 3 actions. Right.
Leaders get
Because 3 actions, because she's a leader and she didn't have to move.
Cool.
All right, next up here is Raph.
Alright, okay.
Show that measly mutt who's boss here.
Well, before I do that, I know that we've got a brawler card still in there, and I'm just getting a bit over this guy pounding on the back of my shell, so I'm going to use 1 katana with my base attack of 2 to do a 3 dice attack on him.
Excellent. And he'll auto block 2.
And I can re-roll this for free.
Yep.
So that's 3 hits.
And he auto blocks 2. So 1 goes through, so that's just enough to be able to take him out.
Great. Then I can use my skateboard to move here. And that leaves me with 2, 4, 5 katanas.
So do a 3 katana attack and then a 2 katana attack.
Yeah, I'm not going to use my kick shell ability because I'm only on 5 health. I don't want to go down to 3 health.
Yeah.
So just remember, with her defense, she automatically blocks 3 hits.
Yeah.
So you've got to get enough to get over that, but you know.
Yeah, well, I did that.
It's interesting.
I mean, I could do a 7 dice attack by combining everything together, but there is that risk that she's going to just dodge the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we tried that last time. Raph raced in, smacked her with everything, but she just sidestepped it. So let's try break it up this time. So the first one, we got. We'll combine these. So 3 katanas plus the base.
5 dice.
5 dice. Grab 1 from over there.
Alright, kick shell.
And
nice.
to re-roll for free.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a beautiful little attack there.
Still 6.
Alright, so let's see
Damage.
before. Yep. Let's see if that even hits.
Yes.
It hits.
It does.
All right.
So she'll block 3. 3 will go through. So she's down to 10 health.
All right.
And you still have another attack.
And then I've got another double katana there, plus my base
So
of 4 dice this time.
Yep.
And re-roll these 2 for free because I'm enraged. Still only 2.
Oh dear.
So
Okay.
either way,
So she blocks that one.
We
Yep.
don't need to
I just
roll
want to
for it.
see, just for the sake of it, that would have gone through, but she blocked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And that is Raph. Done.
All right. Next one up, we've got Casey Jones.
Okay. So with my movement, can I say move 2, do a ranged attack, and then continue moving, or do you have to do all your movement at once?
All of your movement, if you spend a single icon, all of your movement must be spent in a single action. You can't move 2 and then move another 2.
And
Okay.
just a spoiler for those people listening, Alpex doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
She can break. One of her abilities is that she can break up her movement. It's if she has 10 movement points, she can spend them in between attacks if she wants.
Okay, my next question is, because our thug next to me is both on the ground and up high, can I use the ranged attack against him?
Because he is adjacent to you, because he's still considered adjacent, you cannot use the ranged attack against him, but you can use the ranged attack against that thug gunner down below.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll start off by attacking the thug gunner down below. So
Slap a hockey puck at him.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's 3 attack die.
Ooh,
And he's down for
That's
the count.
4 hits, so he is done.
Alrighty. Okay. So to move away from this guy, it just costs 2 for my first movement, so I might actually just move away to try get hits in on Alpex rather than wasting an attack on him. So I'll take 1 and 2. And can I just move diagonally past that cover to there?
Correct. Yep. You can always
I
move
have the
diagonal.
Yeah, I have the movement regardless to go around if I had to, but I figured it was just a good idea to do it that way. Okay, so then for my first attack, I'm gonna go with the dual katanas, so giving me 4 attack die. Okay, and I'm gonna spend one of my focus tokens to reroll that. Oh, that doesn't count, I'm assuming. Right.
It would have been nice.
Proper.
That's
Would've
still
been
not
nice.
bad.
That's still not bad.
All right.
Okay, so she blocks 3, so 2 damage goes through.
She's got to dodge
Correct.
first, though.
Ah, right, yes, that's true. She
Yep.
has her
Let's roll to see. And you're lucky.
okay.
So
Here's
2
hoping
go through. She's
here's
down to
hoping
8.
here's hoping my bigger attack can get through. So rolling 1 additional die. Cheers, Matt. And okay, and I will spend my other focus to reroll. Get them together. Is that easy to reroll these 2? Oh, that was a single.
So that's 5. Let's see if that goes through.
Not this
And
time.
she blocks that.
Okay.
Yeah, she dodges that attack. Now, we just got a quick comment from Scott again in the YouTube comments, just saying arcade mode goes a lot faster with the damage. And yes, it's very true. With only the heroes rolling dice and the villains being automated, you're essentially cutting the time of dice rolling in half. So in 4 versus 1 competitive play, every time a villain would attack, they'd roll for their attack, and then the heroes would have to roll for the defense. And if there's any focus being done on either side for re-rolls, that would add to that as well. So the basic timeline for these missions, where a cooperative mode might the same mission played in either mode, it might take about anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes to play a mission in cooperative mode. on average, it is generally about between an hour for skilled players, up to an hour and a half for for someone catching up, or if it's a little bit more involved of a mission in competitive mode for respawn. Or in competitive mode. I said that right. Second guess myself there.
So that would be Casey's turn.
All right, Casey's all finished up here. Oh, hold on. I'm grabbing too many cards again. No, is that it? Or am I grabbing 6 cards at once? I can't tell.
I think there's only 1 left. Yeah, there's 6 already down there.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the last one.
Oh, cool. That is the last one. Okay, perfect. Sorry.
The
Thug Brawlers are the left. There are no Thug Brawlers, so... Oh, no, there is.
There is one.
So 1, 2, he's going to move towards Casey. He made his 2 movements, and he's going to make 1 single attack against you.
Alrighty. So that would be my 2 defense versus 1 damage, is it?
Yep.
Blocked.
Alright. So that's it. That's the end of round 3. We have 2 more rounds to try to take Alpex out before she makes her big escape.
And what's interesting now is whenever gunners and when that brawler goes down, their cards will be irrelevant now because they won't be able to see you. It's like you've moved on from that part of the battle where you were fighting them on the street, and now you're into the second part now.
Yeah, now it's the boss fight.
That Raph still has the line of sight to that 1 gunner in this situation.
And we need to spawn down the bottom, Dan, as well.
Correct.
So what would that mean? He's going to spend a turn trying to move to the fire exit off the roof, but then he wouldn't be able to see me anymore?
What? Can you repeat that?
I was saying, does that mean he's going to spend his turn trying to move to the fire exit to go towards me, but then that means that he's going to come off the roof and then not be able to see me?
Okay, so...
Oh, you're right. He actually is too far away.
Or
1,
does
2,
he shoot
3,
5,
4.
but he's just going to be weakened?
He'd be weakened by 1 hit. So he would shoot 5, but he's going to be weakened by 1 to hit. So it's as if it missed.
Right.
Now, if this was a situation where there's 2 of them that combine their attack, they would attack you for a combined attack of 2, and they would lose 1 hit. So they would still hit you for 1.
Alright, so I've rolled a skateboard and a chi icon, so I'm going to roll these to see how much health I gain.
So in this situation here, the gunner would have to try to move to keep you within line of sight. Yeah. They would he'd actually move here.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're still out. And in this situation, he wouldn't want to move to a point of which you're out of sight. He would actually wait to be able to make a leap. If a character was able to do this situation, the gunner isn't able to make a leap. They're not skilled enough to jump from roof to roof. So he would just essentially move off to be able to try to get to you in that situation, running off the battle.
It's 2 of them, isn't it, Dan? There's 2 of them that have line of sight to Raph?
No, just the 1.
Just the 1? Well, he would try
the one on the bottom.
He would actually try and attack, but then his attack would fail because it's out of range.
That's what I explained. Yeah.
So Brent, what do you reckon you would like? Because you've got.
I'm actually okay with defense and a sword.
Yeah, because you're giving me 1 ninja star there, so I could throw that at the guy behind you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or if for some reason I get him first, I attack with a single sword against him, maybe to get rid of him, and you can throw a star at one of the gunners across the roof that can still see you if you've got range.
Hurl Sai is 4 spaces, so it would be a weakened attack. But given they can't hit us, I don't think it's worth it. I think I'm probably better just to make it either a shell or a katana either boost my own survivability or a bit more offensive. And given that
I'll leave that up to you.
Given that I'm already on 7 again because I rolled a double hit on my dice to gain health back,
Yeah.
I might go with the katana this time and just
fair enough.
try and take Alpex down a bit quicker.
Yep, sweet as. I gained 1 health back at least, so that'll hopefully help.
And that was it from your skateboard icon, was it?
Skateboard, and I got a cheese, so I rolled 2 dice, but I only got 1, so I didn't do very well.
I'll be back in a sec, guys.
Get your focus for your chi?
Alrighty.
Oh no, I didn't. So I will go
You didn't? Did you roll a chi?
I did, yeah. I rolled a chi and a skateboard, so.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so you do gain the 1 life. Or the 1 focus. Alright. We've already spawned. We're good to go. All heroes set to go?
Yep.
Alright. First up. And this is the start of round 4, by the way. First up is the Brawlers. The only brawler that has line of sight is the one on the roof. He's going to make 2 attacks against Casey.
Alrighty. I'll grab an extra die thanks to the extra defense Raph's giving me.
Maybe take
so
a reroll on that, maybe, because Alpex is going to hit you.
Yeah. So I'll reroll that one. Yep, that's enough defense.
So that's a block.
And then against the second attack, because he attacks twice, is it?
Correct.
Yep. Alrighty, just make it, so no damage.
Maybe
so that would be the
Brawlers.
Brawlers.
Shared you both shells.
Alright, so that's it for the Brawlers.
Casey's wearing hockey pads.
And we've got Alpex coming next.
Alright.
I think we're about to find out what happens when a hero goes down.
Possibly. So she'll target me because I'm at the lower health.
Correct. So you've got Alpex making 3 attacks against the hero with the least life, which is Casey.
Right.
So Casey will be rolling 3 dice 3 times.
That's 1 defense, so that's how much damage? 1?
That's 1 damage.
Okay.
That's a block.
Fully blocked. And
One
last
more.
one. 1 damage.
And 1 damage.
Okay, so I lost
Not
2
too
health
bad.
total. Not too bad.
Hold on. Yeah. Trying to flip an initiative card here. There we go. I've done this enough times. We have Alpex going again. I love the unison grunt of despair that just happened.
The deck's stacked against us. Alright, so same deal again. She'd attack me, I assume.
Yep.
Alrighty. Alright, block 1 damage. It could be over with this next roll for
Could
Casey.
be.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Block.
Safe. Yeah.
Alright, 1 more
Alright.
roll.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes!
Oh, and a block. That's a really lucky turn of events there. So that's another Alpex down.
So
And
she's
so,
done.
and just
Can't
so
take
people
this.
viewing at home, at this point now, how do you guys feel in terms of the operation of the villain deck? Do you feel confident in like what's going on and just quickly moving through?
Oh, I think it's a really great system, and now it brings in different strategies. So now we go, no, she's had her 2 cards, so she's not going to strike again. So we don't have to stress about that.
So yeah, so that it's what's nice is we just moved through 2 main villain turns really quickly. As you get the initiative down and you learn these characters, you don't even have to look at their cards. You know what their stats are. You know what their what they do during their initiative. as you play through, and even within your first game, by the time you get to round 3 or 4, you're feeling good about how things move, and the game just speeds up even quicker. And the same thing happens with 4 versus 1. And you start to learn the decks, and you start to learn those characters as a villain player, and you figure out how you can adapt your play accordingly. So the next one up here, we've got the Thug Gunners. So we'll, same situation here. The Thug Gunner is going to try to make he cannot get to Raph. He's going to try to make an attack against you, but he's not going to be able to make that hit. Here, the next one up will be Raph.
All right.
Okay.
Now, I have got a Ninja Star here that I'm going to try and clear Casey's back before we draw another Brawler card. So if I use that star, and my base attack of 2 is going to be 3 dice. And I'm going to spend a focus token to reroll. So it's 3
Nicely
hits. And that should be, if he's got a defense of 2 and 1 life, that should take him out, shouldn't it?
Let's see.
Yep.
You're
so
making
that should be-
your ranged here against the
Yep.
the brawler.
Yep.
So you've got you do the
Oh, but it's -1, isn't it?
-1, correct.
Oh, so that's
so
only
that'll
going to
be
be
2
2,
hits.
so that actually doesn't take him out then, because I'd need a double. So, given I only
Correct.
rerolled 1 dice, can I reroll the other 2? When I spent a focus, I only rerolled the hit, the block.
If you've already rerolled your 1, you can reroll again.
I can
So it's
roll
not you don't.
I can roll the 2 I didn't reroll.
Because he originally rolled 3 attack dice when he should have
Correct.
been rolling
You
2.
originally rolled 3 attack dice, but then you re-rolled the 1 with your ability.
I rerolled the 1 by spending a focus because I thought I only needed 3 hits, not 4.
Sorry, live stream. I'm back.
Yeah. That correct. So in this situation, normally if you re-roll spending a focus, or with Raph's free re-roll because of his ability, you would only get to re-roll once. In this situation, if you just because you're thinking it needed to be a higher value or a lesser value to take him out, you only re-rolled the 1. You can go ahead and re-roll those other 2, essentially trying to go like it's go broke, go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So close, but no.
So we're gonna count that horrible situation of the dice here.
Yeah.
Ah, well, it's a miss.
As a miss.
All right. Okay. So then what have I got? I've got a double katana, and I've got 2 singles there. So I'm going to, this may sound a bit crazy, but I'm going to use my kick shell ability.
Yeah.
So I'm going
like
to take 2 damage. Use
Get
the
those
double
free rerolls.
katana. Whoop, sorry. Drop that there. And so it gives me an attack +4, so that's going to be a 6 dice base attack. Now, unlike last time where I pulled everything, I'm not going to do that in case she dodges it. I'm just going to do 6 to start with, and that leaves me still 1 more attack in hand.
Okay.
And because I'm
Not
now
a
5
bad
health or
little,
less,
attack.
I can reroll that dice. Cool.
Woo,
Nice.
Look at that. All right, so let's see
8.
if any of that matters.
Yes.
Yes!
And you lucky.
5 damage gets through.
Yep. So that brings her down to 3.
All right. And
So
then
this is it. This is round 4. You guys might have a chance.
yeah. And then I've got the last 2.
I was thinking we were gonna get a villain win here.
I've got the last 2 katanas, so this one's going to be a 4 dice attack.
Alright, so this will be a little tougher, but with your reroll it might still do enough, provided she doesn't dodge it.
And I can free reroll that.
That's not a bad little base attack. Ooh, there we go. That's another 5. So you have a chance of doing 2 damage
Yeah.
if
All right.
She doesn't evade it.
Oh.
She evades it.
Ah!
Oh.
She backflips
Right.
out of the way.
I love it. All right, so let's see. We have 2 more initiative deck cards left. We got Casey Jones up next. Casey, let's see
Alrighty.
what you can do.
Okay,
Okay,
given
so
I have
let's
no
finish
focus
it.
tokens, I'm going to activate Chip off the old block. Because gaining them is better than not gaining them. Right. Let's see now. Thing is, my attacks... So I would need it to be a really good attack using a single dice, so I might just have to use my 3 attack here and hope that she doesn't dodge it. That might be the best way to go here, I think. So I'm going to do that. So that'll be an attack of 2 plus 3, so that's 5 die. Okay. Oh no, not a good roll at all.
Hey, with Casey's ability, how it says that he gets a focus for a double hit. Oh, but you can't spend it anyway. So even
You
if
can't
gained
spend it,
you
that's correct.
can't-
So I do gain a focus from that attack, but
Yeah,
unfortunately...
which is good because you gained it, so it could help you later on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't do enough to get through her block, because I have no rerolls at the time, so...
Correct. And
Yeah.
let's see. I'm just curious. Would it have even mattered? Yes, it would have.
Ah, that makes it feel worse.
So
with-
in this situation, because I at least I can pretend I'm playing the villain, and that makes me feel really good.
So with Chip off the old block, is that only when I'm attacking that I can't spend focus, or is it while it's active I just can't spend focus?
While
I
that's
can maintain it?
active altogether, so that even means on your next at the beginning of the next round, that card is still active until your next turn. So that means you can't even reroll for your action dice.
Okay, well, without using it, I wouldn't have a focus to begin with, so it's a moot point.
Correct.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So it's a bit of a gamble sometimes. You got to know when's the right time to do it and when's not.
Well, I feel like when you have none, that's a perfect time to use it, because you wouldn't have any anyway. So,
yeah.
All right, well, that's Casey done, unfortunately.
Alrighty, let's see what we got left. I've already actually forgotten, so I don't know what's going to be. Thug Brawler. So we got Thug Brawler attacking Casey.
Okay. 2 attacks against Casey's 3 defense. Alright, managed to block the first one. Managed to block the second one.
Alright.
Alrighty.
That's the end of the round. That's round 4 finished up. So now we're down to the final round of this battle. You either take Alpex out,
or she gets away.
Lose.
Right.
So what do we got? We got 1 hero down to 5 life, and that's a little bit of a back and forth. Raph's taken some of his own health down using his kick shell ability, but it's also gained some from focus. And Casey's down to just 2.
I now have 3.
So the good thing is you gain 3 because you've got the skateboard there. But it's as close. The heroes can be taken out and KO'd, as well as Alpex can easily be taken down with the luck of getting past her evasion.
Oh, you're sharing 2 defense, are you? Nice.
I thought, and I got to try and keep you in the fight.
Yeah. Now Matt, you're Raph here. You have 2 focus left.
Yeah, I just rolled a chi, so I gained 1 back.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of see based off what was make sure I was reading the table right.
Yeah, I thought about
so
maybe,
I've got
thought about maybe re-rolling that double
The other
shuriken,
option for Raph is you've got those double shuriken. You could Casey could share that movement instead, and you could move back 1 space and throw the stars as well. Because
you could essentially make a melee attack and then step back and do a hurl sai.
Yeah,
is always an option.
You could hurl the Psy at the Thug Brawler, though, so
That's
that way
what
it's
I
not
was
getting
going
attacks
to
against
do
me.
initially.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea too.
Because then it's just us versus Alpex without that guy hitting me in the back of the head.
I guess it
Like
comes
it's not a
down
purple
to-
dragon.
Yeah, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, I
So
guess
that'll
it comes
help
down
Casey
to
out a lot,
who
being at 3 health.
activates first, you know.
True.
Let's just hope Raph isn't on the bottom of the initiative deck.
Yeah.
True. We'll see how it turns out. All right, so I wasn't at the beginning of this round, at the end of the last round, I wasn't able to spawn any figures because all the spawn points are taken up. And for those at home that have the thought of mission creation for home brewing, things like that, this is another good kind of bit to communicate. When creating a mission, placement of spawn zones is always a very important key factor. You want to make sure your spawn zones are placed in an area that either prevents them from always having line of sight if you want to dictate the pace of the battle later on. In this situation, the spawn points are in the center of the alley, which allows the pace to slow down as you get towards the boss. In this situation, Alpex, where there's less of the minions taking over and it's more of a one-on-one fight. If the heroes choose to place themselves in appropriate ways, or if you wanted to increase the difficulty of a mission like this, you can always have spawn points up on the roof where there's a little bit more options for line of sight, or in a situation where there's a big open map, your spawn zones will have a direct line of sight to most areas. So getting into this next and final round, you guys all ready to go?
Ready as we'll ever be.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
let's see who the first one will be.
Oh,
Alpex.
Ah.
at least you got
Oh, well.
4 defense at the moment.
Yep.
Not a bad thing.
Okay, so she's going to be trying to beat down Casey, so I've just got to get 2 blocks.
And for just those playing at home that might have just joined in, Alpex initiative came up. She's going to target the hero with the least life. She's always going to go for the closest. In this situation, Raph and Casey are both equal distance. She'll go to her second targeting priority, which is the least life, represented by the symbol in the target reticle on the villain card. And in that situation, that is Casey. So she'll be making 3 different attacks against Casey, each automatically hitting for 2. So Casey can go ahead and start re-rolling defense here.
Nice.
First one is blocked.
All right. All right, I take 1
hit
damage.
goes through.
Just need at least 1 shell there to survive her.
The good thing is you gotta focus just in case.
Ooh,
And
just...
you block it. That's good.
Can I
Alright.
retroactively add that last block to the last attack?
And with that,
Nope.
she now does the same thing she did last turn and gets twice in a row. Oh, cool.
All right.
Alright.
But what you can do is get to make a counterattack here.
So
As
I'm gonna
Casey Jones is the next
try
one
lay the
to pull
smack down. I'm just gonna put it all into 1 attack because 3 dice on its own won't be enough to probably try
so
to get through there.
At the start of your
So-
turn, chip off the old block is deactivated.
Yep.
So then you can go ahead and be able to choose any other special abilities that you might have, if you want to do them. Something like
Home run's not
run
really
to give you
applicable
a
to
boost.
Alpex, but now I can use the focus at least, so I won't activate chip off the old block. I'll just stay normal and hopefully use the focus if I need to.
Correct.
So here we go. Alright, and I will spin that
So,
focus to...
Yep. So
roll
one
this one.
damage. If she doesn't evade, 1 damage would go through.
Okay.
That wasn't a technical roll. I'm just trying to select the dice here, and I keep accidentally wiggling it. So let's see. I'm gonna roll here to see if she evades for 1 damage. She does evade altogether.
Casey at low health just doesn't have the strength to get anything through. Okay.
And let's see.
That'll be Casey's turn, because he won't be trying
That's
to
Casey's
move.
turn there. All right.
Yep.
Next one up is the Thug Gunners. Thug Gunners don't have anybody that they can hit. Next up is Thug Brawlers. The Thug Brawlers going to attack Casey for 2 hits of 1 each.
First one's blocked. Second one blocked.
Second one is blocked. All right.
All right.
Next up, and we're just going to fly through these here. We got Raph. Let's see.
Finish her off.
Raph, this is you gotta take the kill.
All right.
Or this is game over.
What I'm gonna do is, instead of hurling Sai, I'm just gonna use the 2 dice, the 2 shurikens there, plus my base attack to roll 4 dice at that Thug Gunner.
You're at the range detriment though, aren't you? So you'd lose a dice?
I will lose a hit, not a dice.
Ah, okay, right. So
Yeah,
you can
the
roll a
fact
double.
I'm
Yeah, so you're gonna roll all the dice and you'll subtract 1 hit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So
Nice.
that would be 3, which is what I would need to take him out.
Yep. So that Thug is out.
Yeah, because that way at least his next activation, if we get to it, won't hit you.
Hmm.
And then for my ability, I'm gonna
Kick shell.
all or nothing kick shell. So I take 2 damage. I'm down to 3 health.
This is awesome. This is it.
I've got my 2 katanas that I'm spending there from Casey. So it's attack plus 4, so it's gonna be 6 dice.
Alright, it's all or nothing. This is a very Raph and Casey kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, and I can
Oh,
reroll
and
for free because I'm under 5 health.
Alright.
And we'll reroll these 3.
oh.
Okay, so we're at 4. So
You're already doing 1 damage.
There you go.
Nice!
Oh, that's enough to take her out.
If it were... Now it all
Let's see.
hinges on this.
Does she
So it
manage
all depends on whether or not she's gonna evade this attack. So fingers crossed the heroes can win here. Let's see how it goes.
Yes.
Yes!
She does not dodge. She takes a blow right to the face. She is dropped right at the end. Last chance. The heroes win.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was so to the wire.
That's awesome. So that's a run through. JM says boom. If anybody knows JM from either the Kickstarter,
I think
page or
everybody
even
knows
the,
JM. Everybody.
Yeah, but he's very active on the group. He's been with us from the very early on stages of the Facebook group. He's helped out in a lot of ways. But boom honestly has to be his trademark catchphrase. I think I've heard him say that more than anybody else. So here we go. We've got the heroes winning right at the end at 5. Round 5, taking Alpex out on the hero's last turn. Our other initiatives would have been Thug Brawlers and Alpex. So Alpex would have had the chance to probably take one of you guys out.
Yeah.
But you were able to take her down before she could escape.
Yeah.
So that was great. Thank you guys for running through that. Before, if anybody has any questions in the comment sections of Kickstarter, Facebook, or YouTube, shoot them out while we're still live,
Yeah,
so we can
good idea.
get to answering them. While you guys shoot us some questions, for Matt and Brent playing with us now, do you guys have any questions about what went through, or any comments
I mean, one of
about how this feels compared to 4 vs 1 competitive mode, or just anything that you guys might want to say?
Yeah, one of the things I was going to say is for people who've been watching is that it's still, and this is a real compliment to you guys, is it still retains the core feel of the Shadows of the Past in terms of the dynamics of the character. Like, it really did feel like it was Raph and Casey there, that with their unique sort of abilities and personalities sort of coming through. And it was obviously really well balanced, the fact that we only just scraped through. Like, it's not like we made any sort of real bad calls, you know, to make it harder on ourselves. We gave it a good shot, and we only just did it.
It all depends on the situation as well. Like that, I know everybody's saying that the Alpex's evasion is very OP. Maybe we turn it down to only on double hits she evades, maybe. But at the moment, it got down right to the wire, and it was pretty perfect. It was very thematic, and it felt right.
It's all about the situation in which
exactly that's what I was going to get to.
Alpex is always a highly active character with big dodges. She jumps around. If you're familiar with the comics, she's flipping over you. She's running. She's sliding under your legs. She's hard to hit. She's hard to pin down. So an evasion for her is a big boost. She's not that strong. Her stats are pretty on par with even some of your stronger minions. But it's her special ability that gives her the advantage over those minions.
Which is why,
and this is just the way she plays in cooperative mode. Her 4 vs 1 card is completely different. So the villains are going to feel very different depending on which mode of play you're choosing.
And not every mission is going to be with Alpex you have to take out Alpex. She may just be another person on the board next time. You have to take out Shredder, and she's there. But you don't have to spend that time trying to beat her down. If she's not a focus, then you can avoid her. It just depends on the mission.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
I cut you off as well.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, I feel like, as you said before, her stats aren't like super amazing, and I feel like that's why her ability is the ability where she can dodge an attack. I think is actually balanced pretty well. I mean, we got about half our hits through, which, given the 50% average, is about right, and it represents that agility. I think making it double hits will make it almost never happen. So I think it's actually at a good spot as someone who had to face the annoyance of dealing with it.
Face the wrath.
And
yeah.
It made us
so you know, I
strategies.
think she's in a good spot. So I think that was a good idea. And as you said, if she's not the sole focus, then you can just kind of try keep her at bay while dealing with the actual problem. So
yeah, and she's not hitting you for big numbers either. For 2 hits, the gunners, when they're teaming up, they're hitting you for 2. So she's she's not being especially brutal, but she can avoid you and she can evade.
And if for anybody who's watching that's maybe seen one of our other videos from Gen Con or PAX, or even had a chance of play testing our Gen Con mission with Hun. Hun's the very opposite. He's not fast. He's a big heavy hitter. He's a damage sponge. Every character has their unique qualities, and you have to create a strategy to face them based on what abilities and stats that they have.
And that's what we really wanted to do with the character design, was we wanted to make it feel like that character. The heroes always had that feeling, but the villains, they did some cool things, but with the AI especially, we wanted, when Alpex is on the field, we wanted it to feel like her. And that is the same for every villain that we've created with the AI system. They've all got very distinct abilities which make them feel unique.
It certainly did feel like it sort of came right out of the pages of the comic book. And you know, talking about comics, you guys, you also mentioned that the adventure comic format for the missions is coming back.
Yes, it should still be in an adventure comic sort of a style.
And within those mission books, you'll see both campaign as well as arcade missions. This is a representation of one of the arcade missions. you either win or lose this battle. If you win this battle, it doesn't help you with another battle. If you lose this battle, you're not losing any sort of pull for the next battle to come. You're just playing through to see if you win, and you're playing through that scenario. That might be a side story of the comics. In this instance, it's a Raphael Micro, or it might be a completely separate, non-canon turtle story that's showing a unique way of playing the game, whether it's a unique objective or possibly an homage to a different side of the turtles outside of the IDW comic.
A great example as well is in the Cityfall box. There's 2 campaigns for the core of Cityfall. The first part where Casey gets kidnapped and Leo eventually gets kidnapped as well, and then you've got the showdown at the theater. In between those 2 missions, we have an arcade mission, or like a one shot, which is Splinter. When Old Hob says that he'll assist if Splinter goes and gets him the mutagen, which he uses to form the mutanimals. That we put that mission in there as well, so that there's a Splinter solo mission where it's a stealth mission where you have to break into TCRI or StockGen, I should say, and steal some mutagen and get out. That it's a story that's takes part in the universe. It's part of the journey, but it's like an interlude which goes in between. So there is lots of different elements and different ways you can play this game.
I'm just seeing in some of the YouTube comments is Matthew there says that he loves the mission comics, but he says he wishes there were benefits to completing the missions. So the campaigns, though, is there some sort of perks still to if you win the campaign going into the next mission of that campaign?
Yes, definitely. They're still going with the campaigns. So a campaign is generally between 3 to 4 missions in a row. They will have a bonus or a buff or a debuff essentially for in between if you win or lose. And we've tried to make it instead villains get buffs as well. So villains have got evil allies, and they could get a bonus as well instead of just doing a negative thing to the heroes.
Sounds cool. I know a lot of people have also been asking about skirmish mode, and people are excited about that. How's that tracking along?
I think we should do something like this for skirmish mode too, Dan. I think it's been a really good thing.
We've been working with Nate as well. We're trying to figure out the best way to go about doing a video for skirmish, but we'll figure something out before the end of the campaign to show skirmish off as well. So stay tuned for that. We definitely want to have some fun and get people excited about what's
essentially
coming to skirmish mode.
Beating the crap out of each other with their favorite heroes.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, thanks so much, guys, for coming on and giving us your expert guidance and teaching us how to actually run this all through and how it all works. It's been a really cool time.
Yeah, it was awesome to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I really appreciate helping get this going and getting a video out to just to show this system in a less structured manner, and just more of just live action, people playing the game.
Yeah.
And it really gives a good view of what it's like sitting down and learning. You guys didn't know how to play this. We sat and gave you a really basic kind of run through of how it operates before we played, but you're new players to the system as well. And it's a very easy system to teach somebody if you're playing with a friend. Within 2 turns they're gung ho and on their own. So it's nice and quick. It's even if you needed to jump in and learn the game yourself, it's a nice easy way to figure out the base system of how the heroes operate, rather than having to find somebody to play a villain and someone learning how to play the villain. alongside.
The other thing was, the people that are still here, there is a link that I put in the Kickstarter chat and in the Facebook group where all the components you need to actually play this mission are there too. So if you wanted to go and play this at home, I've got the cards for the Thug Brawler, Gunner, Alpex, Raphael's new ability card, and a layout all ready to go in a folder there. So you can like we've done here, you can reuse your Casey Jones card, or you could sub in totally different heroes if you want. That's totally cool too. And give it a go. Have a play, and we'd love people just to play and give us more feedback and just play.
And to all those who've
everybody wants a skirmish live stream.
Yeah. And to all those
we'll
who've been
figure out a way
watching,
to make it all happen.
Thanks for watching, guys. And if there's something you want to particularly see, if there's a particular hero, villain, or mission you want to see, well, maybe you need to bug Pete and Dan, and maybe they'll let us show that off.
Oh, one last thing, Matt. Because there might be those that couldn't catch the live stream. Will there be a way for people to watch a VOD of this or a saved video on YouTube?
Stay on YouTube now to be able to be rewatched.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and we've got the video, the link on the Facebook page as well as the Kickstarter page. If at any point somehow the link gets lost, just shoot us a message on the page. We'll keep bumping it up so people don't miss it. We could actually, Pete, let's go ahead and pin a post on the page to keep it easy to find at the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We can put it into the description as well.
Yep.
We've got lots of links in there too.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got a real craving for pizza now.
Yes, I think we should all take a pizza break. The heroes did win. I think that's a perfect reward in this situation.
All right. Well, I'll have to talk to Cass about that.
All right, guys.
Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that's listening. We'll catch you all on the flip side.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time.